What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Hope you guys been enjoying the content on the channel as of late. We had another topic video put out about actors and their weird shenanigans, or the weird ideologies on what they're owed and shit. So hope you guys are enjoying that. Got another topic video for you guys. I was gonna do a review, but just some stuff happened, and I just gotta get that done. I just got done changing my tires and everything, um, I'm just kind of in a decompressing kind of state. So not really in the mood to be watching a film, but but I'll definitely get one in pretty soon here. Um, but the Super Bowl just happened, and Kansas City won, which I was betting on the Eagles. Lost $10. They were they had a they had an advantage for like the first like few quarters, but then I don't know what happened. Shit just changed. The wind changed, as some people like to say. Um, but of course, for movie dudes, movie fans, um, you tune in for the commercials and stuff like that, and it was expected. There was expected stuff in there. Um, that I'm gonna put this, so my face is getting all that glare. There we go. Um, uh, there was like a couple commercials here or there for stuff. Transformers was in there. I think there was a Mario thing, Guardians, stuff like that. We had the Flash, which was like that was really weird. Seeing the Flash, especially with what Ezra's stuff going on. But um, I had this conversation with this. It was on a live chat. It was with uh, what's her name? Sasha something. I forgot her last name, but uh, we got into a little bit of a debate in regards to um, Magic Mike, the new Magic Mike that came out, and just talking a little bit about uh, just overall success and you know more or less WB needing, I think, to be more consistent with just how they go about releasing their films and developing a more stronger strategy, because it seems like they just doing things just to do things, and it seems that they're more doubtful minded nowadays because of certain things that's happened in the past. Like the whole HBO Max debacle that happened, them throwing all the fucking films on there's that service at once. I think that was like what 2021 when that shit happened, and that was a bad idea. I knew even way back then that was a bad idea. And I think like only one film proved that thing to be successful. I think it was Godzilla versus Kong, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and it ever since then it seems like WB's been like kind of so-so with their strategies. It's like, all right, we'll do this one thing, and then, well, actually, we'll do it this way, or we'll do it like this, or what, we'll be cool with the star or whatever like that, like um like there's a lot of stuff that they're doing that has a lot of question marks on it. Like within regards to Magic Mike. Magic Mike was supposed to be a streaming film, and by objectively speaking, the film is a streaming movie. And what I meant by streaming movie when I was talking to that person was that by association and overall perception and just quality, let's just be real, um, that's a film that is debatably like belongs on a streaming service, and I think actually could have benefited a lot more on a streaming service. So like they had the better optics initially, with the company. They had the optics already set. So I'm not sure what caused them to change their mind, because um these kind of like melodramatic disposable type narratives they never really attract a lot of audiences. I mean, you're only getting a select few with Magic Mike. You're getting the females, and then you're getting um, the probably the fans of Magic Mike, which because Magic Mike's like the tail is the end of a joke. It's not a fucking thing that you take so seriously. So, um, and the movie underperformed, and my whole thing is that I think that you could have made maybe even more if you just put it on streaming, because that's I think that's more attractive and more appealing for people to go see that film than having to pay up $15 for something by perception is just like, kind of a jokey, when you refer to Magic Mike, you're not thinking of a serious thing. You're just like, oh, it's that stupid prostitute or hoe thing, with Channing Tatum in the front stripping his clothes off. You know what I mean? It's like you're not taking that shit seriously. So, um, I just think that it would have benefited more from streaming. So WB had the idea. They knew they knew what was up with Magic Mike. So I'm not sure what caused them to change their minds. I understand why you would do that with like something like with the Evil Dead movie coming out. That was also supposed to come out on HBO Max. Um, I understand why you do that because that's a horror film. Because people forget all the time that moviegoers are extremely selective. They don't go see anything. There's some people out here who think that certain films will get a whole lot of money because of word of mouth or whatever like that. That's not that we're talking about when you talk about that stuff. Usually, that's like within the community, the film community, which is this much compared to general audiences. Um, and generally speaking, audiences gravitate towards two kinds of films: superheroes and horror films. I said a long time ago on this channel that if you ever want to pitch something to Hollywood and at least get a second meeting in, all you got to do is pitch them a a uh, a, a marketable superhero film or a low budget horror film. If you do one of those two things, you're at least guaranteed a second meeting. So, because that's where the money's at nowadays. Like people will go see a horror film regardless of quality, Like even also the superheroes as well. They don't they could really give a shit about critical reception or anything like that. With something like Magic Mike, you rely on critical reception. So, and if you don't rely so much on that sort of thing, it makes more sense why you would go for a theatrical route because you have really no bearings. You have more chances to make more money because of less concern of quality. Um, with something like Magic Mike or whatever other films are might be down the line, um, you it does come it comes with that. There is that need to have quality, that need to be good, to be genuinely good, to actually make some bucks. um, and if the company has no confidence in what they're putting out, you know what I mean, like if they're not putting out the marketing, if they're not doing anything, um I then ask again, like, why put this put these films in theaters? Why not just put them on streaming? Because WB had a strategy. I think they implemented it last year where they said that we're going to be very careful with what films we put into theaters and what films we put in streaming. And that's when we started hearing about Magic Mike and Evil Dead, and I think there were some other films. I think it was Father of the Bride or whatever, which that is clearly a streaming film. Um, like, um, like they had their own strategy and it made sense. And um, I'm not sure where that all went. Now it's just like they're just kind of backtracking on that, and they're now just like kind of hoping that like they're just going against what's correct. The value that they put on the product initially was correct. So I'm not sure what caused them to change their minds. Um, I get Evil Dead. I get why that film has to go to theaters because it's a horror film. But something like Magic Mike or anything else like that, it's like, yeah, you just throw that to streaming, dude, because it has better odds on that end versus having a theatrical run. So Um, I mean, you got Ant-Man around the corner too, dog. I mean, it's not gonna make its money back. So so people are not gonna give a crap about this. I mean, they clearly didn't care to begin with. You could just see the box office numbers. No one cared about it. Um, but more beyond just release strategies, I had like we just touched on it a little bit here. I mean, we got people in that company who need to be just removed. Ezra Miller. I mean, do we have to say anything else? I mean, dude's a fucking maniac, and I don't care how far along he is in his therapy. I don't care. That fool needs to be removed. Um, like he didn't go to therapy until his mama told him to go to therapy. That's a dude who is has no who has no care to fix himself. He would have still been on the run and still would have done all these crazy ass things if his family didn't step in and say, "Oh, hey, this affects us too, dog. So let's get you fixed up because we're having a hard time now finding work and all this other shit." Um, so he wasn't gonna do it his damn self. So it's like that dude don't give a damn. He's doing it just to save his career at this point. But and I hate that WB is like tolerating these sort of things. Like we had that with Ezra Miller, and to an extent we're having this with Amber Heard, with Aquaman. Like I know that there is contracts at play and production stuff that happens, but there's just like if like cancel culture, like why aren't we out here doing that to these people? You know what I mean? Like we do it to Army Hammer, and that fool didn't do nothing. I mean, you go read everything about that fool. He didn't do anything. He ain't no fucking cannibal. Y'all just fucking crazy. Um, like you got a bitch that fucking destroyed a man's career. An evil bitch, like just fucking evil. And then you got this psychopath over here who groomed a kid to think that they're of a certain sexual or orientation or this and that. But it's like, dog, why aren't these fools out of Hollywood? You know what I mean? We tolerate these fools, but we can't tolerate someone like Army Hammer or I don't know if I can name another one, but it's like, what I mean? Like, where's the consistency with this particular company, with their release strategies, with their stars, with how with their overall plans too, with their franchises. Like DC Dog is supposedly having a reboot. Um, it's not really a reboot. I mean, it's kind of like a partial thing. I heard they're like keeping some stuff. I guess just James Gunn stuff is staying. Everything else is getting the boot. Um, which I mean that sounds kind of selfish if you ask me, but whatever. But um, like if you're gonna be doing a reboot, dog, you reboot. You start over. You start clean. You do not keep these little things here or there. You know what I mean? Or leave the doors open for other actors to return. It's like no, if you're gonna reboot. You everything clean slate, new actors, everything. But that's not what they're doing. They're wanting to have their cake and eat it too. Is that how it goes? Like they want to play both sides, but that's not how it goes. You got to pick something. And like it's all the stuff that I think that WB really needs to work on. They got to develop their line of consistency because it's it just it just makes them look doubtful. It makes them look um, not as confident, and um, like Disney, they got. I mean, you say what you will about the products, whatever. I've said my piece about the MCU and everything, but they at least got like a schedule. You know what I mean? They shits together. I even say that about like Universal and shit like that. But WB over here, Like, it just seems like stuff just kind of happens, you know? Like, oh, this film's gonna come out in theaters now. It's like, I thought that was coming out in streaming. It's like, what's your reasoning for that? It's like, just give it a shot, you know? Which, okay, I don't know how that. I don't understand how that's a justification for things. If you know initially like what the like if you know the outcome by putting that shit out in a certain format, like, you know what I mean? It's just like, go with what you know is gonna work. You know what I mean? Like, don't just be making these kinds of risks, you know, where um, you could potentially be losing money. That's bad business practice, you know, or that's bad, setting a bad precedent for yourself, you know. So, um, like, you got to be a lot more firm, like how they did with Batgirl, you know, like, um, like, personally, yeah, I wish they gave the filmmakers, a chance to redeem themselves. But at the same time, dog, if the film was fucking trash, then you just got to do what's right for business and cancel it, because we are not gonna be putting out dog shit. You know what I mean? So, my bad. My mother, just popped in for a minute, so sorry about that. Um, but where was I? Yeah, so with the whole Batgirl thing, it's like, even though, um, like, goddamn, the sun is on my face. Um, even though the Batgirl situation, like, the filmmakers, I wish were given a little bit of a chance to redeem themselves. Like I said, it's good business if the shit's bad, like, you know what I mean? We're not gonna be putting out something that we're not personally confident in. You know what I mean? Like, you got to do what's good for business. So they made a good call in saying that, hey, we just got to cancel this shit. Because from what I heard, that shit was just bad, like, bad, bad, bad. So and that's like showing confidence. That's showing consistency. That's showing, you know, um, putting your foot down with certain people, like, you're not letting people walk all over you and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, this is all good stuff for the company. So I wish that they would just keep that momentum and keep that pushing, keep that type of energy moving forward, and putting that onto other stuff with the whole, like, DC thing and the actors thing, having to, like, uh, who they tolerate and who they do not tolerate. You know what I mean? Like, and of course with their release strategies, just having to, like, just be more confident in themselves. Like, if you don't think that movie's gonna make fucking money, you either cancel that shit or you dump it on streaming. Like, that's your choices. Cancel that fucking shit, or fucking put it out on streaming. Don't be don't be don't be thinking that you need to put that film out in theaters. You don't have to. You don't really, really don't have to. So, and that was the point that I was making with that with that person online. And I'll link her video down below just so you guys can watch it. It was a little decent stream. She's more of a mainstream person, but she, yeah, I respect her. I respect her. Respect where she's coming from. So, but um, but yeah, man, I think that WB definitely needs to get more consistent with how they operate, because it just seems like they've been very, very doubtful lately. And um, you got to be firm. Make some, like, stick with your gut. How you feel. Like, don't be second guessing yourself and all that type of shit. Like, just do what you believe is best. And just move forward in that direction. If no one, like, you know what I mean, if like, just do what you think is best. Like, basically, like, just do what you think is best. And everyone's gonna have their own opinion. So, you know what I mean. But ultimately, if it benefits you, ultimately, if it works in your favor, and if it's good for business, you got to go where the money is. That's just how it all rolls. So my thoughts: reboot the DC universe. Like, just do a whole reboot. I'm not about superheroes, but again, if you want to be consistent, this is what you got to do: reboot the whole universe. Get rid of some of these fools that you got working for you: Ezra Miller, Amber Heard. Like, fuck those dudes. Like, get rid of them. You don't need that kind of energy. You don't need that kind of bullshit on your plate. Um, and just be more confident with what you're putting out in the market. You know, if you believe that film needs to go to theaters, put that shit out in theaters. If you think that shit deserves to be on streaming, put that shit on streaming. You know what I mean? Because you know they have a good perception of most studios know um, if a film is going to make money or not. So based on the figures, based on all that stuff, if it's best for you to put it out in a certain way, don't be afraid to go that way. So that's just me. That's just personally me, you know. So um, but that's my thoughts on this whole thing with WB. I just been noticing they've been just kind of scattered, you know. So um, but you guys let me know your thoughts on WB as of late. Do you guys think that they get a need to get more consistent, or do you think that they've been doing all right? Um, and go check out Sasha's channel. She's pretty dope. I mean, I don't really fuck with mainstream stuff too much, but you know, she cool. She has some decent perspectives or some fair perspectives. So um, so go check her out. She cool. And yeah, that's my thoughts on that. You guys know your thoughts on the subject. And yeah, I'm gonna go relax now because I'm a little scattered myself. So just gotta get. I had got up pretty early to do all this shit. So so hopefully my thoughts are clear. So, but thank you guys for watching. Hopefully I'll have a review out in the next video. Hopefully we'll see. But until then, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Stay safe out there, wash your hands, wear your mask, and we'll get through this shit together. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.